friends. Today I'm excited to share with you 3 of my favorite pasta dishes. These dishes are easy to make, but they're packed with flavor. They're going to be perfect for a weeknight dinner or for special occasions. The first dish is a garlic shrimp pasta. It's made with shrimp, loads of garlic, lots of Parmesan cheese, and pasta. The second dish is a Puttanesca spaghettis. That is a tomato sauce with olives, capers, anchovies, cheese, basil, lots of fresh ingredients. You're going to love that one. If you haven't already seen this video, because I have put these videos out, but today I'm making a compilation of 3 together, so you have one place to go for all 3. And the third is my favorite of all of my pasta dishes, and that is scallops and wine sauce with capers. And of course I have Parmesan cheese on top of it. So why don't we get started making these awesome pasta dishes.
Now bring a pot of water to a boil. I have deveined my shrimp, and since it was frozen, I thawed it in the refrigerator for 8 hours, and I have patted it dry with paper towels. So now what we're going to do is put it in our oil. Now I've got 6 pieces of shrimp, and I'm going to cook them for about 2 to 3 minutes total. Let's add some fresh ground pepper, probably about 1/8 a teaspoon, and kosher salt. Now it's been about a minute, so let's turn the shrimp over. It's looking good. So now I'm going to take my pasta and use what would be like about 1 inch in diameter. I'm going to stir this pasta down into the boiling water, and I want to keep a good boil on it so it'll help keep it separated. Now my shrimp is pretty small and it's been about 2 minutes, so I'm removing the shrimp and I'm going to set it aside. And now I'm going to add 4 cloves of garlic that I've chopped. I'm going to put it down into the oil and cook it for about 30 seconds just to release the flavor. You don't want that garlic to get too brown. That heat was a little too hot. Okay, so now let's add our chicken broth. I want to add about 1/2 cup. I'm going to scrape up those bits of shrimp that were left down in my pan and stir that up into my broth. It really flavors it well. Let's check that pasta. It's doing well. We're going to let it continue to cook until it's al dente. Then I'm going to drain it, and I'm going to drain it into a jar. And I'm going to save the pasta water to add to something later and use it for thickening. Okay, it's been about 10 minutes, so let's check that pasta. I'm going to take a strand out and I'll pinch it with my fingernail, and that lets me know if it needs more cooking or not. Look, it's almost there. Okay, it's time. Let's strain our pasta. We're going to be saving some of that pasta water. I'm going to take some of that pasta water and I'm going to add about 1/4 cup to our pan. And then let's go on and turn the heat up a little bit. And I'm going to add our shrimp back in. We want to let the shrimp heat back up. Now I've chopped up parsley. It's about 1/4 cup. And let's put that into the pan. Help flavor up our garlic and shrimp. And let's put that pasta into a bowl. Now put our shrimp and broth over that pasta. Oh, that's going to be delicious. I love this garlic shrimp recipe. Okay, what we want to do now is add Parmesan cheese. Just sprinkle a little over it. But you know me, I love cheese, so I'm going to sprinkle the rest of it on there. Okay, and there we have it, our garlic shrimp over pasta, serving enough for 1 to 2 people. And by the way, please remember to subscribe. I can eat this pasta every day. I'm talking about Puttanesca pasta, an Italian pasta dish. It was invented in Naples in the mid-20th century. Let's get cooking. Take a large saucepan and add 1/4 cup of extra virgin olive oil. Add 1/2 cup of Castelvillanotto olives and 2 tablespoons of capers, both chopped. Your stove temperature should be on medium. Take 3 cloves of garlic. You're going to want to smash them to get the flavors out. And then thinly slice your garlic. Add the garlic to the saucepan. Next, add 2 tablespoons of anchovy paste and 1 teaspoon of crushed red pepper or 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Now let's stir our mixture and allow the flavors of the garlic to be released. We do not want to overbrown the garlic. As this cooks, let's start our pasta water and cook our pasta to al dente. Take some sun-dried tomatoes, chop them and add 1/2 cup. Then add 1/4 cup of sliced almonds that have been roasted. Next we want to add 1 15-ounce can of Italian tomatoes that have been crushed. I processed my tomatoes some to get the right texture. Now stir these ingredients and allow them to cook over medium heat for 5 minutes. Now would be a good time to subscribe to my channel and select the bell to receive alerts of my new videos. I appreciate all of my community of friends. We want to add 1 cup of dry white wine. Stir this in and allow it to come to a boil and let it reduce by 1/2. And that will remove the alcohol. At this point, our pasta has reached al dente stage, so we will add 1 cup of pasta water to our sauce to thicken it. Unfortunately, I added 2 cups and it is going to be a sauce that is too thin, but it'll be okay. Let's continue to cook our sauce for 30 minutes. Then we're going to add 1 teaspoon of fresh lemon zest. And we're going to take a bunch of flat leaf parsley and chop it. We'll add 1/4 cup of that parsley to our sauce. Then add 2 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice. Now let's add our pasta. I use spaghetti, but linguine is also good in this recipe. And I also made too much pasta, but it still turned out to be very good. So too thin a sauce with too much pasta and it was still good. Can you imagine what it's going to taste like when you make it right? Now stir in the pasta and let it heat for about 5 to 10 minutes to allow that sauce to soak into that pasta. It will be yummy, yummy good. Let's start plating. Put your puttanesca into bowls and top with torn basil leaves and some shredded Parmesan cheese. Yummy. I could eat this pasta every day.
We are heating up our skillet. I had already cooked some bacon this morning, making bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwiches. Yum, yum. And so I'm going to use my leftover bacon fat. If I did not have my bacon fat, I would put in about a teaspoon of olive oil and about 2 tablespoons of butter. My fat is heated up, and I've taken my scallops and I've patted them dry. They were frozen, so I saved their juices from when they thawed, but I've patted them dry to get the extra moisture off of them to assist in the browning of these. And now I'm going to add them to the skillet. I'm making enough for 2 people. What our goal is with the scallops is to brown them to form a crust on this side. I've got my heat on medium-high, and I'm not going to move them until they've been cooking for about 1.5 to 2 minutes. We're going to have a goal of about 2 minutes on each side, and then we'll remove them from the heat. We will cook them a little further later. In the meantime, I'm getting my water boiling for the pasta. I will use spaghetti, and that's just a personal choice. You can use whatever pasta you prefer. The pasta will take about 8 to 10 minutes to bring it to an al dente. Al dente is what we'll want because we'll be adding some of the pasta water to make our sauce, and the pasta will continue to cook in our sauce. Now, since this is going to be a wine sauce, I need to make sure that the wine is okay. I've chosen a dry Chardonnay. That tastes very good. I think it passed the taste test. So it's been about 1.5 minutes, so I'm going to go in and turn my scallops. Bacon has more of a burnt look, but it should not be a burnt taste. Yours should be more of a golden brown, which the butter does nicely to give that golden brown. So now what I'm going to do is sprinkle with a little kosher salt. And some freshly ground pepper. And we will continue to cook these for about 1.5 minutes. Now these have been cooking for 1.5 minutes, so I'm going to remove them and set them aside in a bowl for later. I like the way the butter browns these better than the bacon fat.
but the bacon fat will prove to be very tasty. Now I'm going to add a half a cup of onions. And I'm going to cook these until they're translucent. So our onions are translucent. So now I'm going to add garlic. I've got about 3 cloves of garlic finely chopped. And we want to cook that for about 30 seconds to 1 minute. We do not want it to burn or get too browned. We just want enough to get the flavoring out. Okay, so that's been about 40 seconds. And what we want to do now is add our wine. I'm going to add 1 cup of wine. And we want to let that boil. We're going to scrape up the goodies on the bottom. And we're going to let that reduce and cook out the alcohol. So the wine is cooking down nicely. And I'm going to add the juices I saved from when the scallops thawed. That'll add to the flavors. I'm also going to add some freshly ground black pepper. About 1/8 a teaspoon. And just about 1/4 a teaspoon of salt. I'll stir that in. I'll let that simmer a little longer. Okay, my pasta is now al dente, so I'm going to add it to my sauce, wine sauce. There we go. I'm going to add a little bit of the pasta water, about 1/2 cup. Stir that in. Let that sauce start seeping into that pasta. Okay, now I'm going to add my scallops back into the sauce and pasta and let those heat up a little bit and also finish cooking. Mine are probably not browned as nicely as yours will be when you use the butter. I've got this on a medium heat. And this will be good for letting all of that wine sauce soak into the pasta and heating up the scallops and letting them finish cooking. The next thing I have is, this is just under 1/2 cup, probably about 1/3 cup of capers. I really like capers, so you might prefer about 1/4 cup of capers if you're not quite a caper fan. But these really add to the taste of this meal. So I'm going to put these on to let those start heating up too. So after this is heated for about 2 minutes, I'm going to plate.